And welcome back, you wonderful people. It has been a minute. Originally, I had something different planned for the voiceovers for this, but I got all the way through it and I was like, it's not good enough. We're not going to have too many, actually, not too many at all. We're not going to have any memes in this episode. It's going to be pretty much strictly commentary because I'd like to just sit back and talk with you guys. It has been a minute since I uploaded. It's been about 2 weeks since I uploaded. I had to deal with my computer breaking, getting a new job, getting settled in, and just a bunch of other bullshit. But guess what? We're back and we're going to continue with this series. Right now what you're seeing is me lining up a docking maneuver for our what is it? I don't remember the exact class of space station, but we're linking up to our other space station in orbit around the moon. We had a contract that would pay us handsomely to link up with this other bastard in orbit and just give it a little bit of an expansion. Unfortunately, this one does not carry fuel, so we can't really use this station as a jump point essentially, so we can't rebound off of this station after refueling at it and using it to go deeper into the solar system. It is what it is, but I just wanted to see how you guys are doing. I know it has been one hell of a journey for me. We reached our 100 sub mark, and honestly, I'm ecstatic. I I never thought I'd even be able to see something like that. I thought the max I'd probably get is like maybe 5 or 10 subscribers, like the other one that I failed to start up and everything like that. But you know what? 100 of you brain dead people decided to watch me and enjoy my content. And that is really humbling. I I never thought my ramblings would be entertaining at least not till I saw that 100 sub mark. But I'm glad you guys are here. I'm sure some of you have been keeping up with me on the community post. Not many of you, but you know, not really too crazy about all that. But here we are just lining up and getting everything situated. This is the same class of space station we put into orbit about 1 or 2 episodes ago. I'm not too sure, but I know we got paid a nice little fat check for that. But now we're just expanding it. I believe the specifications are 10 Kerbals, and I think that was it. It was only just an expansion of how many crew it can hold. But yeah, we got C-Rim Kerbin, I believe I said that correctly, on the other station, and he has been up here for quite a long amount of time. He's been up around the orbit of the moon for, I want to say, 6 or 7 years at this point, with how much time we've spent in Time Warp. But this has always been a tricky part of KSP for me, just docking and aligning and everything like that. Matt Lown has a good video on it, and honestly, I just use his strategy, and it works 99% of the time, just trying to make sure I don't clip the solar panels off. We do have backups, but who doesn't like solar panels? Give that bitch a nice little spin, and we are going to return to our little remote control craft and slam it straight into the moon. Now, with all that bullshit out of the way, we're going to redesign our little satellite. I know I'm adding a shit ton of batteries and everything like that, but hey, it works. I'm basically just using the batteries for the main structure. This is going to be a relay probe, so we can basically send and receive information far, far out. Not too sure how it's going to work because it is a lot of RCS and all that, but hey, I like experimenting with RCS. It's a nice little compact fuel that can fit a lot, and it seems like it's a pretty good option until we unlock the higher tier thrusters. Which honestly, I don't even know if we're going to do at this point because we might not even get enough science to unlock them. But in the future, once we restart our KSP series and we get, say, a couple of mods, I know there's quite a bit of mods that I want to add, especially the ones that add different solar systems and shit like that. Just basically expand the game a lot. Makes the game a lot longer, and hopefully that next series will be like a 20 to 30 episode series where we try to at least go to every other system. I don't know. Everything's still on the table. I know we haven't even gone to every single planetary body in the Kerbal system yet, but we'll get there eventually. Probably with the next series, though, because I'm not even going to lie. After playing how many hours of KSP? I think my CCAN launcher says that I have just 60 hours just on this one mod list, which it literally is just like one mod, I think. And honestly, I'm just feeling just a little burnt out of it. All right, so we're going to get this one to launch, and okay, our rocket is having a stroke. Wonderful. Yep, this is good engineering. I think I'm clipping a lot of parts together. That's probably what's going on. Probably. It's not a guarantee that's what's going on. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and fix it and get this bitch launched, and I will see you guys then. All right, and we got a good liftoff going. We're going to try to shoot for as easy as an orbit as we can get. You know, honestly, with my ramblings, I don't know what the fuck I'm getting at half the time, but I'm just talking. That's just the way it goes with YouTube sometimes, especially when you're just starting out. You don't always have something interesting to say, and honestly, I'm just glad you guys are here to see it. We bust through the upper atmosphere and deploy our fairings nice and easy. Everything seems to be going well. Seems to be. I don't think we actually mess up on this mission. I'm not too sure. I recorded this footage a good bit back. So now we are just going to throw ourselves in a bit of a oddly shaped orbit. Kind of shooting for increasing the angle at which we orbit around so we can try to guarantee constant contact with Kerbin. I don't know how that works, but in my mind it sounds like a sound idea, but hey, my mind is full of a bunch of bullshit. So this is the same exact mission, except for now we're going to be shooting for a even wider orbit, pretty much keeping it level on the same plane as Kerbin. We really need better antenna technology because honestly, we're not maintaining connection. We're only going to be able to maintain connection some parts of the year because I believe where this is at on the map, it should take a little over a year for us to make a full orbit around the sun. So maybe if we place smaller, or not smaller, maybe if we place some satellites in the same orbit but separated a little bit, we can still bounce off of them and maintain connection. But I don't know, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the satellite array. As my channel name suggests, I really have no clue what I'm fucking doing. All right, now we're back in the VAB and we are going to design our orbiter for the Duna mission. There's a couple things we need to do to really get to Duna and get back. We're going to need to have a craft we can dock to in space. And keep in mind, I know there's simpler ways to do this, but I have tried my best not to look anything up. I want to do this totally off of my own ingenuity and experience, which honestly isn't saying much because I do not have too much experience in this game. I have enough to get where I need to go, but not to do things efficiently. But, you know, I say this a million times. It is what it is because it indeed is what it is. This vehicle is not the greatest. It is probably the most inefficient thing you people have ever seen, and I love everything about it. I have done testing and it can enter Kerbin's atmosphere with little to any issues. The only thing is the wings tend to burn off, but it doesn't always happen. This one is not going to be entering Duna's atmosphere. It's only going to be entering Kerbin's atmosphere and bringing our Kerbals safely back home. Now, this next vehicle we're going to work on is going to be essentially a tug. It will be able to pull our spacecraft back from most of the way through Duna. We're going to dink up, Jesus Christ. We're going to dock up over Duna, and we're going to use the fuel on this craft to pull us back to Kerbin. Because the other craft that is designed, it does have a good bit of Delta V, and we can get like 99% of the way there, but we do need that last little bit of oomph to really get us there. But yeah, this craft isn't really anything special. I'm just designing the launch vehicle and everything like that to get it into orbit around Duna. This did take quite a few attempts for me to get successfully launched, but I made it work in the end. It's it was a bit rough. It definitely was a bit rough. That's really the easiest way I can describe it. Using a shit ton of solid rocket boosters to propel us most of the way through the upper atmosphere. I believe 9 smaller ones and 3 bigger ones. No, 4 bigger ones, so it's going to be 12 and 4. It all works out in the end, but like I said, I'm not really that efficient of a designer, and the next time I work on a KSP series, I really want to work on my efficiency. But here we are bursting through the upper atmosphere, and we almost lost it here. We started to flip a little bit until I threw on the engines, which could gimbal and get us back into a nice straight launch. We honestly, I honestly might have over-engineered this just a little bit. I could have used the smaller tanks, but I couldn't get just the right amount of Delta V I needed. Because for some reason, the tank seemed to weigh a lot more, but carry around the same amount of fuel. I don't know. This design that worked, and when I tried this with the larger tanks, it just didn't get as far for some reason. I don't know. I'm kind of an imbecile, but hey, we will work through it. So now we are going to burn straight past the moon and get into a solar orbit. All right, so here we are approaching Duna. We're about to make our circularization burn. I can't even talk correctly. It is a bit late. But we're going to get in orbit around Duna, and you might notice we are facing the wrong way. We essentially need to flip our entire orbit because my dumbass came at Duna the wrong damn way. So now, if we don't flip it, we're going to have to expend more Delta V trying to correct the situation later on. So while we have a good bit of Delta V left on the tug, we might as well completely flip the orbit so that whenever we come into orbit around Duna, when our final mission comes up with the Kerbals, we will be able to successfully link up without having to flip the entire orbit around and possibly just become a flying dead chunk of metal going through space. And again, I'm sorry guys, I know this isn't up to snuff with my regular content. It's kind of hard getting back into the groove of everything because I stopped for 2 weeks. And honestly, I've just been working and focusing on myself and everything like that. I'm not even going to ask you guys to like or subscribe because this content honestly isn't even that great or worth it. But if you tuned in this long into the video, thank you. It honestly really does mean a lot. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay tuned for part 2.